Massive week on the channel. We're going to go out with a bang when it comes to this season. We've got a preview for Spain-Italy coming up tomorrow. Then it's going to be the preview, of course, for the England-Denmark game and a match reaction to the Spain-Italy game. Then the match reaction to that. We're going to have the fallout on Thursday and a preview for the final and, of course, a match reaction for the final as well. And I'm going to put forward my team of the tournament at some stage as well. But we've got a super chat from NL. I'm going to get straight into it. I'm sorry, my friend, but we are going to thrash you Wednesday. England's end station is the semi-final. Up the Danes. Hey, you want to say it with your chest, that's fine. That's cool. I don't see it that way, bro. I don't see it that way. Okay? Because that performance last night from us, yes, it was the Ukraine being useless, but it was us being really, really good as well. And watching Denmark, I mean, we'll get into that with a preview. Watching Denmark against the Czechs, they were fine. They were good, but are they good? Very different question. Very different question. Sanders just given us a super chat. Thank you, Sanders. I appreciate that, mate. Really, really do. Let's get into these questions. Orlando W. If you do want to get involved, follow me on Instagram and I will post this and then you guys get your questions in and you get yourselves on the stream. Orlando W. What do you have to say to the people who said Kane should be dropped from the team? Well. Wellity. I mean, the thing that I have to say, if I'm being really honest, is anyone who said it was being silly, ultimately. Because I think, look, there's a difference between knowing and doing. Like, a lot of players know what they want to do, but can they do it, right? And so for Harry Kane, I think he knew what he wanted to do, and he knows how to score goals. He didn't need to worry about that. And honestly, deep down, I don't think he did worry about that. But when you do get that first goal and you're finally doing stuff, first of all, it shuts everyone up. But secondly, it makes you feel more confident. And you saw that with that left-footed shot that he smashed. And the goal came after that, which is obviously, you're not giving him any credit for that. But the point is that he just needed that first goal. And he was always going to be flying. Before the game started, I said to my mate in the pub, there's a good reason why you might put some money on Kane to be top scorer. Because there's absolutely no reason why he scores a hat-trick in this game. Of course, he got taken off in the end of it. And scores 2 in the next game. Scores 1 in the game after that. And I think he's up to 5, right? It was ridiculous to suggest that he should be dropped at any stage. And Southgate knew that. Southgate's very good with the noise and getting past all of that. So I think anyone who said it, I think they were basing it around what he was doing outside of scoring goals. But when you've got someone who's world class at scoring goals, it really would have been just so dumb to not start him. Now, I was pleased that Calvert-Lewin got some minutes. And to be honest, watching that the England-Germany game at Wembley, I've said it on camera, like that was the worst game that Kane has played. But he scored a goal. And, you know, he was there in that moment. Calvert-Lewin, would he have been in the same spot? Quite possibly. But Harry Kane is clearly world class. Like, that question is just sort of done and dusted. So why would you drop a world-class player? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So it was bizarre. But it's over now. He's firing. He's loving life. And it's all good times, okay? Doddy, 5. Why do we play Walker? Because in my opinion, Reece James is a lot better. This isn't the worst question. This is quite a good question. Let's go to the tactics board because I have got some bits and pieces here. I think the biggest thing, before we maybe go to that actually, is the fact that Kyle Walker has a lot more experience than Reece James. And I think that's a big part in all of this. I think there are other elements in it as well. Is he as good going forward? No. No, he's probably not. But was that his role against the Ukraine or his role against the Germans? Or will it be his role if he plays against Denmark? No. The recovery runs that you get from Walker are far superior than Reece James, and that's a big reason for that. He also sees that danger, I think, quite quickly because he's been asked to play that role a lot. He's also got that partnership with John Stones. I think this is a really nice thing that that England have got. You know, if you are going to play a back four, that you've got Shaw and Maguire, Man United, and Man City on this right-hand side. You know, that chemistry is crucial. So that's another part of it as well. And finally, something that I don't think people have spoken about at all in certainly the England-Germany game is that Kyle Walker's very comfortable here. Now, I know Reece James is as well, but being able to kind of move there and then move back as an inverted fullback, and also play here, but also play really high. He actually played really, really high as well. And actually, we can go to that with his. Let's see if I can find it. I could find his heat map. He was super, super high in this game. Not literally. I mean, that wouldn't be allowed. And you know, if he got tested, he'd be in huge trouble. But what I mean is on the pitch. Take Rice out. So you see, he was like, there's two spots here. We're here, ready to help out, and here. Just getting up high up the pitch. And that was a big thing that England did as a team. It was so important that we used the width of the pitch because we were going to have to get around them. He's just super, super solid. Will Reece James kind of go beyond him as a player? I think as a footballer, he's a better footballer. But that's kind of not the point. And I know that sounds really stupid. That sounds really dumb, right, to say that. But it's about what you bring to the team. And we don't need another fullback who bombs on and does all that stuff, and Walker does that at the right times. We don't need that. So that's why Walker is playing, and that's why he should play, is because defensively he allows us to be kind of a bit more on the front foot. He allows us to kind of recycle the ball a bit better. Not better than Reece James, but he does it very fluently and quite composed. There is the odd moment, and I'm sure everyone will say it in the chat, he does give the ball away on occasion in that area, and that is a dangerous thing. Sorry, but sometimes you have to kind of just deal with the odd weakness, and that is my concern with Walker, is that there will be that mishap, that moment of lapse in concentration. But with the caps that he's got, the fact that he's another one of those that hasn't really deep down let down Southgate, and he's actually got those centre-backs out of trouble a few times. I think that's a big reason why he plays for England ahead of Reece James. But it's not, it's not a bad question. Reece James is probably a better footballer, but Walker's a better option for us. And yeah, again, we played so high and wide in the game against Ukraine, and Walker's ability to just pop into those different spots. What I really liked about us actually was the fact that the movement of all the players. There was real structure to the way that we played. But at the same time, everyone kind of knew their role regardless of where they were playing. There were moments where Sterling came out here, Luke Shaw came into this area here. There were times where Mount just got out the way. There were times where he came and helped out here. There was a moment where Kane dropped here, Sterling came to play as a centre forward, and Shaw was playing up here at one point, and then Kane smashed the pass over to Sancho. Sancho generally tried to stay as wide as possible, but there was times where Mount was popping in here. There was times where Walker was here. There was times where Sancho got involved here and Walker dropped in, and then Mount dropped and got on the ball. Like, it was so fluid. It was so fluid, but at the same time, they all completely knew where they needed to be able to recycle the ball a lot. And that's something that we've got. And I think it's a massive, massive strength. And now, again, I know there is always this caveat that the Ukraine, I don't know why I keep saying the Ukraine aren't very good. And that is true, but you can only beat what's put in front of you. You know, say that to France, or say that to anyone who's played Hungary in this tournament. You know, beating these teams is easier said than done, right? Mark Sturgeon, who's going to the final and why? I mean, England are going to the final. England are going to the final. I really do believe that. I really do. Denmark are great. Denmark are really good, but we're better. We are very good. We are fresher. We've got higher quality. We've got bigger names. Not that that's important, but there's a reason why they're bigger names. We have a hunger. We have young players who are fitter than most oppositions. We've got a midfield partnership that is suffocating. Which leads me on to the next one. Jacob Bay, Phillips and Rice have been the best midfield partnership this tournament. I think they've been the best partnership, full stop. You know, centre-backs, midfielders, you know, right back and right winger. Maybe you could say Luke Shaw and Raheem Sterling in that as well. Maybe there's some other areas as well. But those two as a pair I mean, that was the joy of yesterday, is that Declan Rice gets to be taken off and Phillips gets to be taken off, because now those bookings are wiped out and we don't have to worry about those two playing in the next game. And I would put those two up against any other midfield in this tournament, because their role is not to create. Their role is to win the ball and stop the opposition, and that leads to opportunities itself. You know, there's been a lot of talk about us being a bit negative at times, but the work that they do off the ball. Next time you get a chance, you know, go watch the Germany game again. Watch the second half of that game, and don't watch the ball. Watch the work that Declan Rice does and how he harries and stops the opposition. Say the exact same with Phillips. Phillips has been so good off the ball defensively, and Declan Rice as well, working on this left side. He stops two players. He will be marking that midfielder. He'll also be stopping the pass into Yarmolenko or whoever it is. He's class. Both of them have been brilliant defensively for us, and that could take us all the way, because we're not going to be playing bad teams now. We're playing very, very good teams. And also, I like the fact that Rice dropped in at times to make it a back three, to let Kyle Walker to be further up the pitch as well. You know, because often Phillips was pushing on. And that's what I quite liked about us as well. We were looking to have a 5 up top as much as possible. But there were moments where Rice dropped here, because we didn't really focus on this area in terms of trying to make our way through it. We were trying to go around the side again and again and again. And actually, that's another thing I did want to show you guys, because I saw this. Look at this. And focus on this, the bottom middle one. So this is open play passes. What it shows is that we just went side to side to side to side to side to try and create some opportunities, right? To then kind of just break them down. It was so good. It was the exact right tactical way of playing, but you kind of need those 5 guys up top to stretch it and to use that width. And that's why Sancho was a really smart move as well. Because Sancho stayed really wide. Walker stayed really wide in a 4. And actually it allowed Rice to drop in here at times. Maguire to play as a left-sided player. Phillips to drop in and be that midfielder, because the Ukraine, they never pressed. They didn't press once. So it was fine. And we were never really going to go to Phillips anyway. We were going to go out wide because, as I say, and you can see it in this bottom middle one, we were going round the side, round the side, round the side. Just to say, 1,792 people watching right now, which is amazing. If you could like the video, it would massively, massively help. And if you're new to the channel, if you're watching for the first time, as I said, huge week on the channel. Huge. Videos every single day, I think, this week. Final week of the season. So, yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as of yet. Get involved. I don't know what's going on with Virgil in the chat, but yeah, bro. 2 words. Luke Shaw, says Michael Liverson. He was great, wasn't he? He was so great. And I think I said this in my match reaction yesterday as well. Like, the big thing with Luke Shaw is that he works really well with his left winger, be it Rashford, for Man United, of course, and Raheem Sterling. I actually think there's often, you know, we don't want to talk about the same players again and again and again. And so Luke Shaw with his assists, he deserves all the credit, and we can talk about him. That's great. And, you know, the set piece as well. I'm screaming, get a right footer on these set pieces. And he puts in a beautiful ball, and it's just stunning. But I've got to say, I have to say this, is that people, just because Raheem Sterling scored the first goal against Germany, they're kind of not focusing on him for this game. He was brilliant, Raheem Sterling. 4 minutes in, to be able to kind of suck in about 3 or 4 players and then play that beautiful pass to Harry Kane. He was wonderful. He was better than he was against Germany, and people won't talk about him. But Raheem Sterling was so good. You know, if you think of the goals that come from it, it's those 3. It's Shaw, it's Sterling, it's Kane. And Sterling is involved for the first goal in terms of dragging out the play and then a beautiful pass. And then the third goal with that bit of, you know, that little flick that he does, which you don't do if you haven't got that kind of confidence. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. He will be forgotten about in this performance, and I understand it, because, you know, you want to give other people a go. Kane scored 2, Luke Shaw set up 2. Don't sleep on Raheem Sterling. The guy is in the form of his life here, which is amazing, because going into it, we were going, We're not sure about him, but he's feeling it. He is really, really feeling it now. And teams hate to play against him. They absolutely hate to play against him. Let's keep it moving. Galsam 111. Has Sancho done enough to knock Saka out of the lineup? I'm not sure he has just yet. I mean, it wasn't. It was a good performance. I think everyone played well. Did he stand out? Not really for me, but I think tactically he really served a purpose because we were so dominant, and he's happy to stay out wide like he did. The other thing is and you can do this with Saka as well. You can do it with Foden as well, but you were able to swap Sterling and Sancho halfway through the first half, which I thought was good as well. He's great, and I have no problems with Southgate playing him in the next game. Like, Southgate, do what you want, mate. Do what's right for you. I'll get into that a bit more in my preview. But to answer your question, has Sancho done enough to knock Saka out of the lineup? I'm not sure he has just yet. I think it will be Southgate picks he plays the game. He's almost not concentrating on his squad. He's going, okay, what ingredients do I need to win with the tactical plan that I want to have in place? Because I think he has so much trust in the entirety of his squad that he will pick who he thinks is right for it. Where are we going? Okay, let's have a look at Italy here. And Lewis Brine 12. How big of a blow is Spinazzola for the Italians? I think it's really huge, to be honest. I mean, I guess the thing is, and Chelsea fans will be able to answer this better for me. If we've got some Chelsea fans in the chat, please let me know. Virgil, I don't know what you're doing here, bro, but just chill with it, man. You know what I mean? Chelsea fans, Emerson, how good is he? What can he really do for this team? Is he going to be as good as Spinazzola? I don't think he will, because I think what Spinazzola does so brilliantly is it's almost quite new to have that right-footed player playing that left-hand side, and his dribbling has been so good that you don't know if he's going to kind of come inside or continue down to the byline, and he's happy doing both. And that energy and sort of stamina that he's been able to show in this tournament has been so crazy. So I think it's a massive loss. I think it is a massive loss for them. Emerson's a good player. He likes to get up and forward. But will he be as good? I don't think so. And I do think the Spain game is going to be really interesting because you've got two very, very contrasting styles. And it'd be interesting to see which one of those two comes out on top. I don't know if I can ban him, guys, because I haven't got my thing open. So we just have to ignore him. Do you take T Murray? Do you take Rice or Phillips out for Henderson? No. I mean, Henderson. Do you know what? Henderson was loving life, by the way. I might go to that one more time. So Henderson, I don't know if we can see him here. Here he is. So you can see him on the second row on the right-hand side. Or as you're reading it. Yeah, right-hand side. And look at the passes he's playing. He's just loving life, just getting on the ball, pippity-popping it about, switching play. He was loving it. He was absolutely loving it yesterday. Look, he's great. And it's interesting that they put him on first. And I think he's such a tool for us because he's got so much, leadership. He oozes it now. Not literally, that'd be disgusting. But I think you use him for the last 20 minutes, or if you're going into extra time, again, you can use him, and it's not a problem. I just think as much as he has great energy, this sounds ridiculous, but Phillips and Rice, their energy is elite, and there's no way you break up that partnership. I mean, would anyone? Let me know in the chat. Would anyone swap out Rice and Phillips? I'd be amazed if anyone says it. Nick Tull with the super chat. Get your questions in here, guys, because I've got only a couple left on my Instagram, and then I'll be coming to you guys. Do you think that it's slightly unfair that England have got a nice run second time running because Man City always gets slack for having easy cup routes? I think the difference is Man City win lots and lots of trophies. England don't, so we're not concerned. Also, if you're living in this country, Nick Toll, English fans don't care because it's been so long. Yeah, it is unfair, but it's an advantage that we've got, and we've got to take it. We've got to take it because that's what life's about: opportunities and taking them. So yes, I think there is problems with the fact that the game's being played at Wembley so much. It is a massive advantage for us. But it's not something that I'm going to I'm not going to get too bogged down with it. Do you know what I mean? Because I think I've got to just enjoy this next, hopefully, a week. We will see. Hulmund. Oh no, Hulmund is surely levels above Southgate. I mean, we'll find out on Wednesday. NL. We will find out. Southgate, I mean, what? You guys know how I feel about Southgate. And time has shown that he has been a very, 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 very astute manager. Is he better? I mean, if you're Danish, then you'll say Hjulmand. If you're not, you'll say Southgate. I think both of them have been brilliant in this tournament. Probably the best too. Oh, Mancini, I guess you got Chuck in there as well, right? But yeah, honestly, don't worry about it. And here's a good one for the chat. Dan Catterall. Who's been England's player of the tournament? Who has been your player of the tournament so far? This is a great question. I think it has to be... Ooh. It's got to be... It's between Raheem and Phillips for me. I think there's been loads that have been great. You know, Stones has been quietly very, very good as well. Very, very good. But I think I've got to go with Raheem just because of the goals, really. You know, if he's not scoring those goals, if he's not making those runs, who knows where we're at. We might very well may not be in the competition. So I think you have to look at Raheem and say, yeah, you've done it, mate. You've really shut some people up. And you can see it, like I feel like he's kind of grown, like he just like, or almost like aged, but in a good way, because he always looks quite boyish, doesn't he? But now he just looks like such a leader of that team and that squad. Like, I think it's probably got to be Raheem Sterling for me. I'd love to know what everyone else thinks. Some people are saying Pickford. A lot of people are saying Shaw. I think part of the thing with Shaw, you might say, is of course, the assists, the outputs there, definitely. I think he's up there. I think Phillips, again, watch some of these games back, guys. And Phillips off the ball does a hell of a lot. A hell of a lot. We've got 570 likes at the moment. 2,000 people watching. I would love to get to 1,000 likes before the end of the stream. So if you are kind enough, do hit that like button. That'd be great. People saying John Stones. Maguire, he's not played every game, so I don't think you can give it to him. Does Saka start over Sancho? I think don't get caught up in that starting lineup, because Southgate will do what he thinks is best. And I think he is very realistic in terms of the opponent and how good Ukraine were. I think he knew that they were poor. He thought they would be tired. And he thought that almost the best form of defense was attack, in terms of owning the game, running the game, controlling the game, and being that little bit more attacking and getting the fullbacks high up the pitch. And what's interesting as well is I think 3-4-3 or playing 4 at the back, there are a lot of elements and sort of switches in terms of the players that will continue regardless of what system that we're playing. So it's one of those where I would not be surprised if he went back to Saka. I think there's also a case for Foden. Abby Brown asks, should he play Foden against Denmark given the yellow card has now been wiped out? I think that's a really great point, that he may well look to do that. I think he's been so smart with the squad and the use of the squad, because I think the bottom line is that before Sancho played this game, you could happily say to me, Sancho's the best attacking player we've got, and I couldn't categorically dispute that you're wrong, because all of these players are stupidly talented. A lot of them are very young. A lot of them are playing in their first tournament, apart from maybe 1 or 2, right? And they're all great footballers. They're all kind of not... One player 32, 33, you can kind of say this guy's better than that guy. But at this stage, you can't do it. So Southgate, I think, has used that to his advantage. And brilliantly so. Like, it was laughable, some of the stuff about Sancho. And then Southgate, again, who just does not care what we think. And I mean that in the best possible way. And thank goodness that he doesn't. He's just gone, well, yeah, Sancho, I think Sancho works for this one. Saka's got a bit of a knock. Right, hey, go in. Bosh. It's not that big a deal. Brilliant. So he might bring back Foden. He may well bring back Foden. It's going to be interesting. I guess the question is Does he want to bring Trippier back in and us be better defensively? Because Denmark will play their 3-4-3. So how do we want to play? Do we want to match them up, or do we want to go with the 4? Big question. Big question. James Metcalf, have England ever looked this comfortable in the knockout stages of a major tournament? No, is the answer. You know, for us to look, and of course there is a moment, you know, the Muller moment's there, and that's fine, and it is fine margins. I think that's a big part of this tournament as well that I've learned, is that it really is fine margins, because these teams are so organised now that it is, you know, it does come down often to the last 20 minutes of matches to wear teams down. So for us to be as comfortable as we have been, and we've played a team that their game plan was for us to break them down and for them to hang in there. 4 minutes in, that's done. And then the other game is against an old foe who we matched up and we were too much for him. So we have been quite comfortable. I mean, you know, we haven't conceded a goal. We haven't conceded a goal. It's crazy. Dylan, how impressed have you been with Patrick Schick? I think he's perfect for West Ham. I think he is perfect for West Ham. I think he'd be great for West Ham. That's a really, really good shout. To have another option who's a, you know, physical presence. You're going to get those crosses in. Will hold up the ball. I love that. I love that shout. I have been impressed. I think his finishing's been great. You can't discount how poor his form has been in the past. But also, I think he had a good season, didn't he? Last season with Leverkusen. So I think he'd be a great signing for West Ham. Really good shout. Really, really good shout. Bish Bash Bosh. The depth of this England squad and how Gareth uses them. I've kind of answered that already, but I think he's just been absolutely genius in it. But ultimately, it is down to winning games or not winning them in terms of how he uses that squad, because people would have gone after him. But again, there are life lessons in sport. And I think if everyone's learning something from Southgate, it's shut out the noise, make your own decisions and feel comfortable about them. And that's what he's done, and he's reaping the rewards now. And now, I've got to say, like the perception of Southgate now, it's very difficult for me to it's almost not smug. I'm almost I'm nearly annoyed at some of the stuff that was said. And we will, you know, there will be a retrospective on this, and people will look back at all the stuff that they've said about Southgate, calling him a chump. You know, I think he's proven people seriously wrong. And look, we might go out to Denmark today. I'm going to enjoy this for all it's worth, but we have played really well, sensibly, smartly. We haven't conceded a goal. The squad rotation has been great. He's done brilliantly. Tom Purvis is kind of reiterating my point here. 2-4-2. Tom Purvis 2-4-2. Do you like Southgate's constant changing of the lineup? I think it's genius. I do as well, because I think they all remain competitive and they all think they've got an opportunity to play. Smart. Ben Gorey 23. Trippier is better than Walker. Again, I think it's about what you offer. He's not quicker than Walker, and Walker's recovery runs are a huge safety blanket for this team, and that's why Walker will continue to play. Would you rather Italy or Spain if we get to the final? I really don't mind. I've actually got... Part of me, my gut says Italy, because I think Spain, and we'll get into it in the preview soon, I think Spain play very... And I can show you this, actually. Spain play very... They play in the middle. Here you go. Get rid of that. They play in the middle. But they did also, and this is difficult because against Denmark, they're playing with 10 men for a lot of the games, so they're just hanging in there. They had 72% possession, but in a lot of the games they do play like this. And the thing that I don't understand is Alba and Azpilicueta play really narrow. I feel like you could make, you know, this so much bigger. I don't really understand why we do this. I don't know if I could show you. Let me show you England's team, and just to kind of show you the difference, right? So this is us, which, I mean, it was Luke Shaw getting wide for us in particular, but someone getting out wide, do you know what I mean? Whereas Spain, they just don't really do it. They do play very narrow. But I wonder if all the work that Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips could do could be kind of undone because they almost are so close together, they could just kind of pop it around those midfield two, and we kind of get overrun. That concerns me a little bit. So I would say Italy, because I think if we go toe to toe with them, I think we might be able to kind of control them, because I think physically we're very, very strong. I might be wrong in that, but I think I'd probably rather have Italy. The title was, are England favourites now? Thomas Murta asked that exact question. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, in the chat as well. Do you think England are favourites now? Now, of course, with the bookies, that's kind of, I mean, it's a given. We generally always are, right? I believe that we are the favourites, right? Now, I know I haven't said it, right? I haven't said it with my chest yet. And I might have to say it soon because it's time to believe, right? But I said this to Kristen Hennage on WhatsApp yesterday. This doesn't make sense. Every bone in my footballing brain body suggests that we should be the favourites, and I think we should be very comfortable with that, because we have players who win championships, win Champions Leagues, are confident in their own skin, and they're confident with each other. We have a team that is fresh. There's no hamstrings getting popped at the moment. You know, of course, that might still happen. We were able to make all our changes and take off players and even leave on a centre-back that we felt that we desperately needed to keep a hold on, who was on a booking, and we knew that we could play, and he could just not make a tackle. Those are the words of Gareth Southgate. We left Grealish and Foden on the bench for our last game. Foden hasn't played for 2 games. The bench is scary. And as great as Italy have been, like, have we played the best football in the tournament so far? No, I wouldn't say that. Italy have been the best. Italy should be the people's champion. They've played wonderful football, the tempo that they play with. And I think that kind of for the tournament, I'd love to see England versus Italy, because I think it would be explosive and just hectic. It would be amazing. But the thing that puts us over the line, and Spain as well, I think, yes, they're not taking their chances, but they are creating a lot of their chances, and they need one good game, and they score 5 goals against an opposition. So I think it's between those 3. Denmark are great, and they're there on ability, not on emotional adrenaline. They have a huge ability. But we have a better team, I believe. And Spain have a better team overall. It's technically very good. I think they are caught between, you know, what they were and what they're going to have to go and be. So I put them kind of 3rd. Italy I put 2nd. But I think the thing that puts us over the line is that home advantage. And again, is it fair? No, it's not. But it's ours. It's our advantage. And I was there in the England-Germany game. It made a massive difference, because those players would have run through a brick wall. And I think it will, I truly hope that it will play a massive part in the rest of this tournament. And for us to be able to play at Wembley in these, hopefully next 2 games, or certainly for that semi-final, is huge. And because of all of those, regardless of any kind of emotional bias, the facts stack up, you know, and not conceding a goal either. We are the favourites. And that's okay. But we are the favourites now, in my opinion. Nick Toll, will a loss be considered a bottle job? No hate. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But I also think the potential of this squad to win the World Cup as well, you know, as that's the next competition, is undeniable. So if we do bottle it, we bottle it. That's sport, right? You know, France have bottled it. You know, any team that's gone out, you could say they kind of bottled it, couldn't you? So yeah, probably would be. And that's probably a good place to end on. Like I said, guys, please do consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It's the final week of the season. It's going to be huge on this channel. Previews coming up for all the games in the Euros and some lives as well. And hopefully you will enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you all very soon. Come on, England. Come on, England. Yes, we are favourites. Yes.